What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. Sonny, you want to say what up?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Well, we are on once again. It is Monday, June 12th, 2023, 10 p.m. Here on the East and 9 p.m. Eastern or not Eastern, Central. We are here today. We actually have our guest.
Hello.
Hi, Angel. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous. How you guys doing?
Wonderful. Appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate you having me.
So we are on tonight. We have a great show lined up for you guys, and as you can see, we have a guest on with us tonight. Angel, you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yes. Hi, my name is Angel, and my topic here is more of healthy minds. Just laying the foundation of some things that we need to, get back into. So, I'm here to be on the panel, hear what's going on, and try to see if I can put some balance in the mix.
For sure. We appreciate that. And if you don't mind, I'm going to let the people know how we got you on. We actually got Angel from one of our past guests, Ansari the Answer. He hooked us up with Angel's information and let us know that she was a great person to talk to. So we're definitely appreciative and blessed to have her on with us tonight. So thank you very much. And we're definitely going to have you on again. We definitely focus in on your expertise, as well as I hear you have a book coming out or already out.
I'm working on my book, Healthy Minds. How to unblock the subconscious mind, how to deprogram what we've been programmed for so long.
For sure. We actually just did a series called Healthy You. Was that the beginning of the year, Sonny?
I think so. But I think we kicked off the year with that. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So we kicked off the year with mental health and talked about ways to kind of check in and kind of, make sure that, we're doing things to improve our not only our mental health, but our health and well-being in general. So we did a full series on that, and we definitely want to swing back and do a couple of more episodes on that. So we'll definitely be honored if you can join us for a discussion on, like you say, on healthy minds, and kind of give us a rundown of things that we can do to like you say, unlock that. So I know a lot of folks definitely need that, especially in this day and age.
Yes,
so much
negativity
and toxicity in our lives, and things that we do that don't promote a good healthy lifestyle. So we definitely want to get into that mindset of being more healthy and more cognizant of what we can do to better that for ourselves. So yeah, definitely looking forward to have that discussion in the near future. But in the meantime, tonight we're going to do Join the Conversation. So our Join the Conversation group is on Facebook. So make sure you guys join us on that. You can find that over at Join the Conversation or at facebook.com/group/GFT Join the Conversation, where we have tons of topics that we either discuss or we just have, things that we post to get people thinking. And we have a few topics from that we're going to discuss tonight, and definitely want to have some great discussion and elaborate and give our opinions on these topics, as well as see what you people out there are thinking as well. So make sure you comment. Good evening, Regina. Appreciate you for joining us.
Yes.
So don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when our shows are dropping. And definitely feel free to comment. We definitely want to hear from you all tonight. So to get us started, I want to talk about a topic that I saw on the GFT Join the Conversation group. I can't remember if this was your topic, Sonny, but we had a post about cheating. So people,
oh yeah,
you know,
Yeah,
are
we talked
always,
about that on my show.
yeah. So, you know, people are, oh yeah, I think it was from 1 year. So people are always talking about, you know, how in relationships things can kind of go sideways. And this topic popped up on during the conversation group about cheating, but it was presented as, you know, why do people cheat but stay in their relationships? You know, why don't they leave the relationship instead of just cheating? Or why do they, you know, continue to you know, push for a relationship that they you know, shown some infidelity towards? So what's your thoughts on that? Why do you think people stay in relationships and then still cheat?
Well, I feel like certain people stay for certain reasons. I know through conversations with friends and family and different people that I've known, and personal, I've stayed when cheated on in an actual relationship, and I think it's a combination of a couple of things. Like somehow that they'll realize, like I think for most of us, we feel like somehow they'll realize what they're doing is hurting us, so they'll stop, which is kind of unrealistic, but we just have that idea in our head. Like if we express to you that this is really hurting us, you'll stop. And sometimes by the time they're cheating, they don't care. They're not going to realistically stop. Sometimes we stay for different various reasons. If you have kids with that person, it may be harder for you to leave. Same like an abusive situation. If you may feel like you just can't get up and go, because especially this is my biggest thing. I always talk about relationships. I grew up on the notion that if a man took care of you, some of them men thought that they could put their hands on you. So I'm a firm believer in, I'm not going to allow you to be the whole person, the person that's going to stay with you, that I'm solely dependent on you and I can't do for myself. So that way it's more scary for me to step out on my own and leave you, because I'm not used to doing for myself. And most of them people are normally, for the most part, from what I've conversations, they left home and was with this person. Right. So they didn't really have a time to be by themselves. So they didn't really get that time to be on their own and then be able to fend for themselves. To Smooth's point, selfishness. You just want to stay because you don't want to see them with the person that they're cheating on you with. They're not leaving you. They're selfish because they don't want to let you go, because meanwhile they're doing X, Y, Z. But you're being kind of selfish because you don't want, like, and there's a lot of us that think that, oh, well, I'm not going to just give this person to this other person.
Yeah.
So it's so many levels to why people stay. I guess it depends on the person.
Oh, right. Angel?
I think comfortability. I mean, you only can do what a person allow you to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you be together for so long to where it's almost like breaking up with family. And some people, you know, they just don't want to leave that energy. They know that energy is better than what they're dealing with. So they'll keep you here because they don't want to get rid of the energy. They just want to go try other energies, other places. Right. But they want you. They want to keep you. Like you said, it's like possession. You know, women and men, they want what they want. But then if they're not really healed, they don't understand the complications that they're bringing because they're not healed. Right. So when you stay, some people, like she said, they stay for so many reasons, but most of the time it's because you've known this person for so long. The connection is sort of hard to just say, I want to be done with it. So you got that back and forth until someone finally cuts it, or the woman just gets tired. When
or it goes left completely bad.
It's nothing that, I mean, it's over. So, you know, they'll do that. And sometimes a man would do that so the woman can get fed up to push him out because he can't walk away. He doesn't have the courage to do it. He doesn't have the courage to leave. So he will hurt you to the point to where you
don't want to be the bad guy,
but to let him go. And then we have to understand monogamy is a Western culture. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of men are promiscuous by nature. You know, here we want to, oh, you're married, you're mine. In other cultures, that's why they had, you know, men with many wives, because they understood the man's mind and the desire for other women. See,
Right.
here in the Western culture, oh, you cheat and you're doing this. That's why you're starting to see a lot of poly relationships popping up now.
Right.
Because
Right.
a lot of people are understanding that you're not just gonna want me. A lot of people are understanding like this is something that we haven't even tested out as a culture, as far as being polygamy. So when we think that they're cheating, we actually need to sit down and just have an open conversation, because some men just want you and some men just want what they want. But be honest about what you want. And that's the real problem. But like I say, when men don't leave, I think because they're comfortable. It's too comfortable. You made them a good home.
That's a good point. That's great points. Great points. Yeah. Smooth, what up, though?
What's good? What's good? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Oh,
Good. The question is why do people cheat but stay in the relationship?
Just like I said in the comments, I just think it's basically selfishness. They want their cake and eat it too. To like the sister was just saying, if you want to be in a polygamous relationship, just state it. You feel me? You'll be surprised how many people are with it. And this goes for men and women. So you'll be surprised. A lot of y'all sister wives or brother husbands and don't even know it.
United.
You feel me? So at the end of the day, though, if to those, I want to speak directly to those who claim they want monogamous relationships. So if you're cheating and you're still staying in a relationship, obviously it's like it's a selfish motivations behind that. Like the sister said, sometimes if a man, he may be too comfortable, you feel me, he may just want to, his girl, or maybe making life too easy for him, or giving him too much leeway to do what he want, and you feel like I don't gotta leave. You know what I mean? Like I said, I can have my cake and then go home and eat it too. You know what I mean? So some things you only get what you allow. So if a woman or man allows that, then that's, at some point, they gotta take personal responsibility of that situation. I really don't understand. I never understood cheating and being in a relationship, especially those that are married. I never really understood that. When I could just easily tell you, like, listen, I'm attracted to other women. This not gonna work. I'm not gonna be faithful. You feel me? That's real easy. It's real easy to do. I think a lot of people not only are selfish, are cowards.
Right.
Men and women. They're
not
cowards.
saying what you really want. You get complacent.
Oh no, not even that. They just scared of confrontation. They scared. They scared to deal with reality. They scared to deal with the fact that at some point somebody things are going to get uncomfortable. With that conversation. And so, a lot of people are passive aggressive and they don't want to deal with that confrontation. You feel me? They don't want to deal with the reaction, the emotion that's going to come from the other partner, whether good or bad. You understand? So, and sometimes, like I said, you never know. You propose something to somebody and you never know what they down with deep down. You feel me? And sometimes you yourself don't know what you're willing to do unless you're put in that situation. So, like we always stay on the show, communication is key. Communication is paramount. So a lot of these things should be communicated before you even jump into a relationship, before you even think about getting into a relationship. You got to see where people's minds at. Now, obviously, people lie, misrepresent themselves all the time. So that's but that's life. You know what I mean? Like we just got to wade through that water. You feel me?
And it's crazy because I just saw this post. I don't know if it was on TikTok or it was on Instagram Reels, and the guy was like, "Would you?" They was asking females, "Would you date a married man and he takes care of you financially, like covers the order, but you know that he's married, you don't have to cross that line, bop bop bop, or would you deal with a man that always tells you no?" And a lot of the chicks were saying, "I deal with the married man." But in the same token, if I walk up to you, Smooth or Willie, and I'll be like, "Listen, I got me a man. I'm trying to see what's up with you. Bop, bop, bop. I giving you the absolute honesty of what my situation is. If you say you cool with that, it's a lot of females that want to deal with a married man or somebody that's attached because they don't want the rest of the other stuff. So they just cool with whatever you're going to do to cover whatever order she need. And as long as it makes sense for her, she's signing up for that willingly. That's why I said a lot of people don't have conversations because you never know. This is why it goes back to the conversation I have when people say, when I hear females say, "Oh, I'm girlfriend number, I'm the main chick." So you know it's others.
Mm-hmm. Right. You already know what's up.
Like you 1, 2, 3, it's numbers after that. So if you saying you won, you know it's more numbers. So you're willingly signing up to be with him and whoever else he got going on. You may be being faithful, but he over here with other people because you know it and you're accepting it. So at the end of the day, if that's your wave, that's your wave. But and so one of the commenters' points, if you tell me that's what it is, I have the option of whether or not I want to do it. If you're communicating to me this is what it is, I can sign up for it. So it's not cheating. If I marry you and you want to marry other females or date other females, and I'm cool with that, we have open relationship, that's our business. That's nobody else's business. But I think a lot of people be minding people's business. That's why people feel uncomfortable. This is why people can't have real conversations and say what they want, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me read some of these comments real quick. Regina earlier said that some people stay for the kids because when one parent leaves, the kids start acting out. That's definitely a big thing. A lot of relationships are definitely together only for the kids, or maybe just because they're comfortable in the same house, things like that. So that's a huge one there. This was one I was going to mention when it came around to me, was that, a lot of people don't want to start over. They rather, dibble and dabble, but then keep what they have because they don't want to start completely over, even though to me, it sounds like you're starting over anyway with somebody if you dibble and dabble. But some people feel like that relationship is cemented. They're good with that relationship, but, they feel like they're not getting everything they want. So they go out and they do, a few other things, but then they don't want to start over a whole new relationship. So they rather stay in that situation, and vice versa. A lot of people stay in a relationship with somebody that's cheated because they don't want to start over. They feel like, hey, I got so much good going on here. I'd rather just, deal with this, infidelity and not have to, go find somebody else. I mean, the dating pool is piss and shit, but it's still, something that people will, take a lot of negativity or negative things in their relationship and still deal with it. I think Smooth, you were just saying the same thing, how some people, when you're put in that position, sometimes you'll be surprised at what you'll accept. Born Smith said complacency. That's a huge one. Some people will stay in a relationship because they're like, hey, I'm comfortable. I'm willing to deal with these things because it's what I know. I rather sleep with the devil I know and not deal with the devil I don't know. So you see that a lot. Chris mentioned. I'm sorry.
Now I just wanted to comment on something. On one of the comments about the kids, people sticking around for the kids. I think that's a horrible and lame excuse. I think that's a horrible and lame excuse.
It is, but I think people use it anyway.
And I know people use it. I know people who have used it. And I'm saying it's a horrible and lame and corny excuse because you're hurting the kids. Nah, I mean, because I'm just saying, because you're doing more damage to the kids. You're showing the kids dysfunction.
Dysfunction and the drama.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like being kids. I remember, we act like we forget when we were kids and we didn't see the dysfunction and didn't act like we didn't know what was going on. I knew what was going on. You feel me? When as a 5-6-year-old seeing my mom and dad beef. You feel me? So when I was 11 and 12, after they broke up, them talking about getting back together, and I'm like, hell no. You feel me? Right. As 11, 12, I talked about this on Hype episode. Like, nah, I don't want y'all back together. You know what I mean? Y'all go do y'all thing separately. Y'all could be friends. You feel me? But as far as y'all together, like, no. So as kids see this. Yeah, kids know when parents.
But that's the kids unbalanced, and that's what they don't understand. When you have unbalanced energy in the home, you raise unbalanced people.
Exactly. I
They
literally just had
feel
this
that.
conversation, and I said,
and that's why, like you say, I do agree. You know, I left a relationship because of the abuse. I didn't want to stay because of the kids, because I knew that my kids will think this is how you treat people. This is what you do when you mad. This is what you do when you ain't. So when you stay, if it's not operating out of love, then don't stay, because you can still love your children.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely learned that the hard way, that it wasn't worth, trying to hide things, because it's going to come out one way or another. It's going to come out in the way you speak to the person, the way you act around the person, the way you don't act around the person, So being in a relationship where, I wasn't really in the relationship during that time, but I was definitely faking it, for the kids, and trying to make it seem like everything was okay, even though it wasn't. And I know for a fact, because some of my older kids came to me like, what's going on, realizing that things weren't the same, things weren't the way it used to be, because they could tell that
energy
we weren't really in
energy was off.
That's why listen, it took me one time to know, like, nope, I'm good. I'd rather that's co-parent. Let's be the best co-parents. We ain't about to do none of this.
Exactly. Where did I leave off at? Chris was saying that because the other side accepts and forgives, it makes the cheater feel like they can get away with it. That's a big one too. That's a really big one, because and not only the acceptance and forgiveness, sometimes it's just the fact that they think that they're getting away with it if the other person is non-confrontational and doesn't bring it up, right? And that person will continue to cheat because they're like, hey, I got a comfortable situation here. They not saying nothing, or they not doing anything about it. I'm gonna keep on doing it, So that's another big one there.
And then didn't somebody else say something about they don't want to start over? People are afraid to start over.
Yeah.
That's another horrible, lame, ridiculous, insecure stand to take. Because like, if you truly love yourself, you feel me? Like because you can't love nobody unless you love yourself first. You feel me? Love yourself properly. You know what I mean? So if you love yourself properly, you're not going to take no shorts. You understand? You ain't going to let nobody just do you any old type of way. And just because you don't want to start up, man, there is damn near 8 to 9 billion people on this earth. Are you serious right now? You trying to tell me you don't feel as though you're worthy enough to go find somebody else that'll treat you right? You feel me? How about look in the mirror and treat yourself right first?
But see, then you got to do the flip side of that.
And then you'll find something.
The word is loving yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of broken people that don't love themselves and try to love people in spite of, and try to love somebody else harder than they can love themselves. and that's the problem. And that's why I think we talked about in the podcast before about taking that break. You know how some people just don't take the break. You've been with so-and-so for 8.5 years. Y'all went through everything you could go through. You're in the healing process, but that alone time that you need to heal and work on yourself, they don't like that. They don't like being alone for a period of time. So that's why they go right behind and find somebody else.
Yeah.
Most likely somebody's the same way, just wrapped in a different package, and we repeat the cycle. So like I said, you gotta, a lot of people, myself included, had to learn to love yourself and what you actually do deserve, what you're not going to put up with, like, and realize who the fuck you are, because I don't got to accept that. Exactly. And if I'm going to deal with that, I'd rather be by myself, because I'm not.
You know what?
Through enough.
Hurt people will hurt people. That's
that part. Hurt people definitely do hurt people. Right. A lot of people need therapy and they ain't going.
Right. Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah. Facts.
Yes,
I just
indeed.
posted that this week.
What up, though, Dame?
Good evening, Black people and everybody else in the audience.
So the question is, why do people cheat but stay in a relationship? What's your take on this?
I had a good answer for this a couple of weeks ago when Sonny posted it. Let me see if I can go back to my answers.
Give us drawing off the top of the head, bro.
yeah, I'm gonna do the best I can.
You know how the show works.
Yeah, I know. I'm just let me get warmed up. This is my first
Why-
question. You know, I'm coming in cold
While
from
you're
work.
figuring that out, let me read
No,
another
I got
quick
it. I
comment
got it.
because I want to.
Oh,
Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Kenya was agreeing that the kids know. She says that they can feel the tension and teaches them toxic traits that carry into teens and then adulthood. But Regina said that the only reason she mentioned the kids because she had an ex that she was in a relationship with, and he left his ex because he found out she was cheating, and that it started the kids not going to school, talking back to their mom. She says that she felt that the kids need structure. Go ahead, Dan.
Greed, being greedy. You want more. That's one. There's a disconnect somewhere, or somebody's not being satisfied with some type of emotional, physical, or mental need or spiritual need that they're not fulfilling. What else? What else? They're just a hoe.
There's
That's
that.
thing.
No, that's my past life, Sonny. I had a couple of more actually.
But no, those are good. Those are good. I want to read Chris's real quick. Chris said that as a former cheater, he said I did because I could and didn't care who it hurt. And that's one.
That's
So
an honest
the last part of his statement, it was one that got me. There was a couple of posts that have been posted about that. One that stood out was the one where it says, "Who do you love more? The one that you tell, who do you love more, the side chick or the main?" And a lot of people are saying, people who are in that situation, they love the main person more because they don't tell them, they don't want to hurt them, right? And then some people say they love the other one because they're more truthful to that one. So that's one that always comes up a lot. Is like, a lot of people who are in that situation, they're like, hey, I didn't want to hurt this person, so they cheated and they didn't want to be confrontational, or they didn't want to tell them the real reason why they were cheating and things like that, because they didn't want to hurt the person. But as Chris said, that's the thing, is that a lot of times they don't care who they hurt. They don't care that it's hurting their spouse or their girlfriend or whoever, or boyfriend, and it definitely hurts the kids if there's kids involved. They're not caring that it's hurting their children in the end. So it's definitely, that's the thing, is that a lot of people got to realize, like, no matter what you think that who you're not hurting, you're definitely hurting someone behind that. One of the points I wanted to bring up, and I saw this in a video or a reel or something, was they were talking about, I believe they were talking about being side chicks and side dudes and stuff like that. And this woman got up and asked a question about, will the guy she's with, who she's helping cheat, will he love her more, or will he ever be in a relationship with her? And the answer I thought was perfect. The guy was saying that more than likely not, that he'll more than likely never make her his main woman, or never love her as much as he loves his main woman, because of the fact that he's comfortable where he's at. He's cheating because he's comfortable where he's at. He has what he wants there. He has what he needs there. He just wants more, or he wants some extra fun, or he wants, or maybe she is missing something. Maybe it's a personality trait. Maybe it's sex. Maybe it's whatever. But he's getting that one thing from you and making you his side chick. But he's never going to love you as much as her, because he wants to be there. That's where he wants to be. And once again, it's that greed, or that want to have more, versus being either happy with what you have, or talking to that person, to having that communication, like, hey, I don't feel like I'm getting this from you, or you hurt me when you do this, and I'd rather work this out and figure this out here, versus going out and doing it with somebody else.
Here's the thing.
It was a comedian. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's the thing with side chicks and side dudes. Like, I hate it when that era started. Started with the music, boyfriend number two and all this BS and corny shit. Like, you're never. That's a dumbass question she asked. You know, I'm sorry, my patience is thin tonight. Like, that's a dumbass question she asked, because it's like, it's a reason you're the side piece. It's a reason you're not the main course. You feel me? We not trying to give you all the attention, all the benefits of the main woman. It's a reason why. He'll never love you. He love what you do for him. You feel me? He love what you do for him. You feel me? He might love that little thing you do with your tongue. You feel me? You might can cook. You know what I mean? Or you might just be a sounding board. You might be a garbage. That's why I told you. I said this on here before. I'm not nobody's garbage cans. You're not gonna come to me and spill all your bullshit, all your trauma, everything you going on in your life that's negative on me, so you can, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the one you're gonna vent to all the time. You feel me? I'm letting you know right now, 9 times out of 10, I don't care. It's your fault. Keep it moving. That's my advice to you. You feel me? That's my advice. Like, because, you know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, our own troubles is things we created. You feel me? For ourselves, situations we created for ourselves. A lot of people just don't want to take accountability. So, her even assuming that she will be loved, if that was the case, he would have been left. He would have been with you.
Exactly.
You feel me? You don't have to ask questions you already know the answers to. You feel me? Yeah. If a man love you, or if a woman love you, there'll be no doubt in your mind. There'll be no questions. You feel me? There'll be no question. So at the end of the day, you either going to accept that you're going to be number two, you're going to be backup. You feel me? You're going to be the one he calls when the situation he wants to work out doesn't work out. You feel me? You're his fallback plan. And if that's what you want to be, then more power to you. But, you know, it's highly insecure and it's highly, you know what I mean? You're just going to hurt yourself at the end of the day.
Right.
You feel
me? For sure. Last comment on this one. Chris said, I never understood why would you think that I would be faithful to you when I'm cheating on her with you? To me, they're certified idiots.
Well, I was going to say number two is never going to be number one. Only special circumstances that happens when number one leaves, or you kick number one to the curb finally because you got tired of the BS that you're complaining to number two about. Then number two becomes number one. Then guess what?
But that might not even happen either. So, like, listen, number one could walk away and you still have number two as number two and find a whole new number one.
Yeah, that's true.
See,
too.
That is so true.
Yeah, that happens.
Listen.
All right, let's go ahead and move to the next topic. Let's have a little fun with this next one. This one was posted in the Join the Conversation group as well. Again, make sure you guys go over to Facebook and look for us over at GFT Join the Conversation. We have tons of posts over there. Our all-star used to be Dame. I don't know, Dame, you've been falling off lately, bro. No, he still be over there posting a lot though. So definitely check us out. We got lots of folks over there interacting. So get over to GFT or to facebook.com/group/GFT Join the Conversation. All right, next topic that we're going to discuss. Like I said, we're going to have a little fun with this one. Do you, as an adult, cuss in front of your parents? Sonny, or I'm sorry, Sonny. I don't.
It's okay. I did a smidgen.
Okay.
When she was around, but I knew like I couldn't do my sailor cuss because then she'd be looking at me and getting ready to cuss me out. So back when my mom was still with us, oh yeah, Mike can't pay that. I get one off, not too many.
Right. Angel, do you cuss in front of your parents or anybody like that?
Well, before my dad passed, we all cussed. It wasn't like, in disrespect. You know what I'm saying? He was just, I was raised by my dad. So I got a lot of game from my dad. So it was different. So, not me having a mom to be like, oh, that's rude. My dad never really seemed to have a problem with me cussing in front of him because he'll cuss, in the conversation as well. So It was never really viewed when we was, how we were as disrespect. We just use it. We just felt that those was action words.
Okay.
A little spice.
Okay. Right. Add a little spice to the conversation. Right. Smooth. Oh, I think you're on mute, Smooth.
bad. It's two different. Well, I mean, God bless the dead. When my dad was around, me and him probably would, you know, curse like a sailor. You feel me? That side of the family, my dad's side of the family, you know, our curse words are nouns, adjectives, verbs. You feel me? Like it's just normal conversation. Now my mom, she cussed, but she like to, know what I mean? She like to be a little bit more discreet about her cursing. So I'm more discreet around her. You know, I will let off a damn, you feel me? Or something like that. Or if we driving, you know, I got a little bit of road rage. So, you know what I mean? Something might slip out. But for the most part around my mama, no. But my dad, no. Oh man, listen. We all cursing.
Oh, yeah, I cuss my dad out. You know I'm cussing around him.
No doubt. Dame?
Before my dad passed, nope, because I didn't know any cuss words before then. As an adult now, no. Out of respect for my mom, because she doesn't use that type of language, I'm just going like, nah, let me just not try it, because you know I might be coming to live with Will or Chris. Like, Chris, open up the door, let me in. So
I think I was more scared to cuss around my grandma because I knew that she would slap fire out of me like an assault rifle, just smacking fire out of me, and I'd be sitting there looking dumb. My grandma would probably smack the shit out of you like a ninja if you cussed around her.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Well, I think most of us that grew up with cussing parents, we end up talking the same way that they talk to us, you know.
Right.
I know, but then they get mad when you do it. My mom's
right. That's what I was just about to say. My mom.
I'm like, I was 6 motherfuckers 2 weeks ago.
Right. My mom wasn't a conversational cusser, but she did cuss a lot, and I definitely wouldn't cuss around my mom now. Like she's the type where, you know, she told me when I was growing up, like, how did she put it? I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. So, you know, I feel like she can still do that. So I'm not letting nothing slip. I ain't making no mistakes because, you know, I still feel like she might whoop me, you know. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that to the other brave folks out there for sure.
My mom would cuss you out and then tell you she was a child of God. I'm like, first of all, that language was not of God. It wasn't. Right. There was no part of God in that statement you just said to me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of elders I wouldn't cuss around even now. You know, it's just I just definitely one a sign of respect, but then it's just two, it's just in me like that where I'm just not going to, you know, use certain words around people. There's certain people I won't even use slang around just because I just have that respect for them. Where, you know, I'm gonna, you know, keep it respectful and 100 with them. So I definitely pick and choose my words around, you know, people like that. I rarely cuss as it is, but, you know, definitely won't do it around my elders, and definitely won't do it around my mama. That's for sure. The post there was a post there and join the conversation. I know there's a few people that mentioned that you know that their parents are cool with it, that they have those conversations, and you know it's like Smooth said, it's like they're like every word might have, I mean, every sentence might have a little sprinkle of it in there. Let me get to Chris's comment here. He says, I was going to beat a guy up at Coney Island over cussing in front of Dame's mom. Dame's mom, definitely. That's a woman I definitely far as she gonna ever know, I ain't never used a cuss word in my life. Because I don't think I've ever heard her use any kind of bad words, foul words, anything, let alone cuss words. Sounds like
you never got my report card.
Right. Regina said that when her mom was alive, she said no, she wouldn't do it because her mom didn't play that. That's for sure. And Chris said definitely no way. Yeah, no, we ain't cussing around Chris's mom either or his dad. They definitely like were the types that probably would have whooped us. That's for sure.
I forget sometimes not to cuss around certain people's moms because their moms are a little bit like the non-cursing type.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm so used to like my mom, you could cuss, but you just knew not to go too far.
Now that I'm older, I'm like you. I take it out of my vocabulary. You know what I'm saying? The more you practice that, then it won't slip, because I have adult children that don't cuss in front of me.
Right.
because I changed the tempo in my home. As growing up, I didn't use the language. I didn't use, so I'm like, I at least changed that pattern. Even though my dad's side was cool with it. As we got adults, we was able to talk like that. I wasn't a cussing kid. I was a cussing adult with my father. But as I was raising my children, and I raised them on a different spectrum. I have a 30-year-old. She doesn't talk like that. They're more afraid because of the way I raised them. My father raised me different. Now my children have the opportunity to be raised by a mother, and they got like mom and dad. So, that's the good thing when enough is enough for your own self-integrity.
Yeah. I think my daughter cursed around me one time and she looked at me like, wait, my mom didn't slap me.
Right.
She's 20 and she was like, but I knew she was so mad and she just looked at me like, wait. And I'm like, you're mad. It's okay. Like,
Right. Yeah. No, that's a great point. Cause I definitely was the type that I didn't, cuss around my kids at all. Still to this day, I got adult kids as well. As my kids have gotten older, especially now that my youngest he's about to be 17 in July, I only just started using a few slang words around them. Like I didn't use any slang words around them. I didn't cuss around them. Like you were saying, Angel, I wanted to have a certain way that we communicated. When my older kids were really young, I was one of those yelling parents, but then I remembered how much the yelling in my childhood home affected me, and I felt like it was detrimental. It never felt good. So I changed the tone of that, when my kids were still young. So even with that, didn't yell around them, didn't yell and scream, that kind of thing. Now, I can't say anything about the other parent, but for me, I felt like it was important for me, like you said, to kind of set that stage and to give them, a certain way to either act around me, at least, let alone others, out in the street. So it definitely has carried over. A couple of my kids, they'll let a couple of little, minor curse words slip out here and there, but usually it's like when they're excited or, like you said, Sonny, when they're mad, that kind of thing. So I don't get on them too much about that. But with the fact that we now have grandkids and other little kids running around, it's always like, hey, still watch your mouth, because we got these little ones running around. So just how I raised y'all, in a curse-free home, let's raise them in the same way, so or at least when you're around me, let's do the same thing. So that's a great point. So not only my parents, I definitely ain't cussing around my kids.
I definitely did. I'm not even going to sit here and on this podcast and lie and say I did. I'm more intentional of what I say and what I won't say around them. Certain conversations don't happen around them. You'll never. I'm sorry, but for me, I hear people refer to their sons as my little nigga, this, that, and third. He would never be called that a day in his, like, not, at least not by me. I'm never going to say that or call him that and want him to answer to that. The same way I wouldn't call my daughter a bitch. I've now, as an adult, I've told her she acting like a bitch. Like, yes, because you're being bitchy. You don't know why you're mad. I didn't do it, and I don't have time for that. But I'm not going to walk up to her and call her you B. I'm not about to do this. So it's I think, like I said, I cuss like a sailor. So I catch myself on depending on what I'm saying and be mindful of what I say directed towards them. Like, I remember my daughter asked me, why did I cuss at her one day? Because I was calling her. She was actively ignoring me. So I called her normally because she's like, you always cussing. So I said, okay, we're gonna try to experiment. I waited 3 days. Tried an experiment with her. I called her, said it nicely, hey, it's all right, come downstairs. Then got a little louder with an octave, got real loud. She still ignored me. As soon as I said, get your motherfucking ass down here, she came running outside. I said, that's why I cuss at you. I said it every other way. And as soon as I said motherfucker, that's when you come, boo, 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 why you cussing at me? Because I said it like I had company. I had somebody there like, watch this, because she's going to say I be cussing at her for no reason. Here's why.
Right. Tan said, I cuss around children, just not at them. And she says, well, not names. And good night, Chris. Appreciate you joining in, bro.
Yeah, good night.
And then Oh, and
I
Tan said, I know several
definitely.
men who don't date women who curse.
Oh, see,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
I ain't
Smooth.
that. I said I definitely. My daughter know I curse. You know, I'm like Sonny. I curse like a sailor at times. You feel me? Like them things just be flying out. Uh, I don't I don't necessarily curse at her like Tan said. Like if she really make me mad, them curse words will fly. But I'm not calling her any
Yeah.
names. Know what I mean? I'm more so like, didn't I say do that shit? You feel me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I mean,
How many
you know what I mean?
motherfuckers
Stuff
times I
like
gotta tell
that.
you? Stuff like
Exactly.
that.
You know what I mean? Like that's the type of cursing. But as far as like cursing her out or stuff like that, like nah.
Yeah.
I ain't with that. I see a lot of, especially I'm gonna be honest. I see a lot of mothers, and I be seeing how they be cursing their kids out, and
Mhm.
like you feel me. I be feeling bad sometimes. You know, I
Yeah.
done had to say something to a couple people like, "Oh man, you ain't gotta talk to them like that." You feel
Yeah.
me? And then you
Mhm.
wonder why they act the way they do. It's like, look how you talk to them. You feel me? They internalize that. Uh,
Mhm.
so I guess that's one of the reasons why, even with my dad, sometimes them curse words are fly because my dad was no holds bar. You feel
Mhm.
me? Like you know what I mean? He was relentless with it. You know what I mean? He can get vicious with it. So when you talk to a child like that, at some point you gotta understand when that child get old enough and start smelling their own shit a little bit, them curse words gonna come right back at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gonna come
Because
right
those
back
are the
at you.
things. Because that's what we love. So that's what we learn subconsciously. We don't even know that we learned it
Mhm.
subconsciously.
Right. Right.
That's why they come back out later.
Absolutely.
They were already embedded in our cranium. So we, until you actually know it and start like, oh, let me start working with that. Let me, we all are subjected to just be like what we know. It's what we
Yeah.
know, what we do, till we learn better. And we
Absolutely.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like people get used to certain things, getting used to being spoken to a certain way, or I mean, and honestly, even that the example that Sonny gave, I mean, that's one of those situations where she her daughter's been trained on that. Like she feels like she can ignore her mother until she cusses. It's like, oh, if she cuss, oh, that's it. That's the end of it. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back. So she got to act. If she was used to being like, oh, I'm a count to three, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm a, if she was trained on something else, then she would react a different way. But she knows what the limits are, and that
Yeah.
and
I'm
that
like, I
that
be
was her
mind my
her
business.
her trigger limit. But to Tan's point, and she just made me think about this. I definitely have heard this, on the internet, on posts and things like that, where the way women speak is something that men look at when it comes to dating. What do you guys think that that's still a thing where men are still, um, you know, using that as a red flag, or even as a deal breaker? The way a woman talks around them as a means of judging them for dating purposes.
I don't want to say it's like a deal breaker, but like I said, I am who I am.
Mhm.
If you met me, you know who I am. You're not going to change how I am. So I had somebody say to me, oh, well, um, something happened. We were in a situation where I ended up cussing somebody out, which is very rare. We were out at doing something and somebody was being disrespectful. So after so many times I've ignored, I actively engage. And with me, it's once you set me there, you can't tell me how to go off. It's just off. He said, "Oh, you think that's cute?" I didn't think it was, and he made it seem like I thought it was cute. I said, "No, I didn't think it was cute at all. Was it necessary in that moment? It absolutely was, because you can't, like, if somebody's actively ignoring the situation and someone keeps drawing out the situation and I finally address it, you can't tell me how I'm going to address it. Yes, it was not ladylike how I just completely cussed this person out. Copy that. I wasn't doing it to be cute. So if you're going to tell me it wasn't cute, I'm fine with that. You cannot talk to me. You cannot deal with me. Whatever you feel is absolutely you're right. It doesn't deter me anyway because I'm not going to be disrespected in a situation. And for one, you didn't speak up, so I spoke up.
Right.
And whatever they got is what they like. I'm a Taurus. You wave a red flag, I'm charging. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to be like, oh no, you shouldn't have said that. Everything is there, everything is gonna go.
Right.
So this is, and that wasn't even me being mad. It's just me drawing the line of where I'm gonna be respected and what's not about to happen in my presence. So
Gotcha. Angel?
It depends on to some degree. Like it depends on, I don't see red flags, but my thing is if I'm changing, and I'm trying to be mindful, I have to be mindful who I let in my space. Because sometimes you want somebody that's going to vibe with you. So basically, if I know I'm working towards my higher self in that cuss, and I would prefer someone that's actually doing some inner work on themselves as well. Instead of someone that's going to drop my vibrations, argue and want to be, because when you start with all that, arguing takes you to a tense place. And basically, when you get to that tense place, we don't understand what it does to our body and our organs and our psyche and the stress. So I'd rather avoid that at all costs because I understand what being angry or having someone push me to that limit. Once I understood what it does to me physically, I don't want to have to argue with my partner. I don't want to have that. I want us to be on a harmonious roll. I want us to become that one in sync. So yeah, if you always cussing, doing all that gang music, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we over 45. You want a life partner. You don't want nobody that you don't know where they, you know what I'm saying, they all over the place. And you definitely don't want nobody that if you're cussing like that, you get mad. I mean, you're gonna cuss me out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't want to get cussed out. I don't do it. So, if I know how to be in my feminine energy and I stay in my feminine energy, then I'll attract a gentleman that understands that. So, that's why I really don't, red flag or no flag. I'm going to attract who I am. So that's all the bottom line for me.
Yeah.
Damn, you got a comment on this?
I think we lost.
I don't know if you're on mute. Oh yeah, you're on mute. Or are you with us, Dame? Or are you not with us? Go ahead, Smooth.
Me, the cursing doesn't bother me as much. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine. Yeah.
The cursing doesn't bother me as much as more as being obnoxious or rude and disrespectful with it. I don't mind, if we just having a regular conversation, you throwing out a couple curse words, you know what I mean? I like that don't bother me. But like if all you do is curse and all you do is gossip, you know what I mean? You want to sound ratchet and ignorant all the time, then like, nah, I ain't got time for that. You feel me?
Right.
Like I said, I'm about to be 40, so like I ain't got time to be around nobody who's in my age bracket still acting like some immature, emotionally unintelligible individual. You feel me? Like I don't have time for that. And then something that you spoke to earlier, Willie, it's a time and place for everything. It's a time and place for everything. Some people call it code switching. I don't necessarily call it code switching. I call it, you know what I mean? Like I just said, there's a time and place for everything. And it's a limit to everything. You feel me? Some people like to overdo things. I don't want somebody who's going to be just overly aggressive and like the sister said. I'm sorry, I wasn't here to get your name in the beginning. I like a woman that's in her feminine energy. You feel me? That's what turns me on. That's what I'm attracted to. And a woman can't be in her feminine energy if she's always aggressive, cursing somebody out, being, you know what I mean, boisterous and all that rambunctious. Like I ain't got time for that. Like, you feel me? I shouldn't have to, we adults. So I shouldn't have to tell a grown woman, like, you know what I mean, relax, calm down.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You're doing too much. You know, if I constantly gotta do that, I mean, none of us is perfect. So we all may get into that one instance to where somebody or something triggers us and we snap. I mean, we all deserve that grace. But if it's a constant thing,
Yeah.
everyday thing, or every week thing, like, nah, you know, I gotta exit stage left on that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
but
for me, that's equivalent to being just drunk all the time.
oh yeah, yeah.
And then they say, "Oh well, I was drunk." Excuse me. No, you drunk every day. That's not.
Right.
That's a
Right.
lot.
Yeah.
And I'm at the stage in my life where I don't even like I don't even want to be around nobody that's drunk at no time. To be honest with you,
I could do
you know
drunk.
what I
Just
mean?
don't be an obnoxious drunk.
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't even want to be like. It made me feel so uncomfortable. I guess I grew up around so many alcoholics, drug users and stuff.
Like
That
trauma.
yeah, at this point in my life, like, I just don't want to deal with it. I just don't want to deal with it at all. So, you know, I avoid events. You know, we had a little fish fry around here. Everything was cool. Once they start bringing out the bottles and start drinking, all right, y'all, God bless, you feel me? You know what I mean? I'll catch y'all on the next one. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
because I already know how this can get. And I just don't want to be around it.
Yeah, protect your energy
Right.
at all costs. You know, you gotta
Yeah.
protect
Oh
your
yeah.
energy, you know, because once people start drinking, them spirits come in them and they don't even realize they possess. So yeah, protect your energy at all costs and leave.
And I don't want to be anywhere where I want to be drinking and be like a little buzz, having a good time, and knowing that I got to worry about what might happen. Like, nah, I'd rather go home.
Yeah, it's too
Be
much
in my house by
outside
myself.
happening. Yeah.
Right, right. Tan said, "Can't no man yell or cuss at me." She said her father didn't do it, so she's not going for it. And then she also mentioned that her cousin stopped drinking and stopped profanity, and they say they feel so much better. Yeah, I mean, taking that kind of negativity out of your life definitely will make you feel a lot better. Lift the weight.
Tan, are you the one doing the cussing and yelling?
The people around you too. Say it again. Say it again, Smooth.
I said I want to ask Tan, is she the one doing the cussing and yelling?
Yeah, she did say she cussing that kid, not cussing that kid. Something around.
Actually, I cuss around children, just not at them.
But yeah, and I, you know, I definitely feel the same way. Smooth. You know, my thing is, you know, I don't mind a woman that cusses. It doesn't bother me. You know, especially when it's not like a constant thing, but it's just like, oh, you know, some conversational stuff, you know, a word to get thrown around here and there definitely doesn't bother me. But yeah, like you said, I don't want the ratchetness, I don't want the loudness. You know, like you said, when we were younger, we dealt with that kind of stuff. But now at this age, like, yeah, I don't need ratchet. I don't need you know, I don't need just overhyped, always overly hyped, and always, you know, one to fight, and always one to cause conflict and drama like that. You know, I'm too old for that. So I definitely feel like, you know, I can deal with a few cuss words. I just don't want the over dramatic.
I be knowing, Tan.
Over dramatic. So yeah, definitely feel like that's, you know, that's more of the deal breaker for me than just some cuss words. Especially when it's like, you know, like I said, we're adults. You know, it's nothing I ain't never heard before. You know, so not a big deal. There was another comment I wanted to pull up.
Is my screen black? Can y'all see me?
No,
yeah, that's what I was telling you in the comment. Your
Yeah,
camera's
off
black for
season.
some reason. Yeah, we can't.
I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah, that's all right.
You hit your camera?
Yeah, my phone just smooth died on me. That's why I logged off the first time. I ain't even do it. My phone just said, nah, bro, I'm done.
Oh, dang. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what it was. I was gonna go back to Tan's comment about my father didn't do it, so I'm not going for it. And I think some of that with the men who don't want to date women who curse, I think some of that is possibly from, and not just possibly, because I definitely have heard this from other men, is that they felt like, well, my mom didn't cuss, so I don't want to be around a woman who cuss. You know, so I definitely have heard that. So I think some of that is like, you know, when you're raised a certain way or you've been around a certain environment, then you want to maintain that kind of environment, or vice versa. Like if like for me, my mom and my dad, they yelled, screamed, and argued all the time. Now I don't want that for my life, right? So I'm like, any relationship I'm going to be in, I don't want the yelling, I don't want the screaming, I don't want the, you know, the back and forths all the time. You know, it's one thing to have an argument, it's one thing to have a disagreement, it's another thing when, you know, the milk is out. Oh, we got to scream and argue about it. You know, somebody tire flat. Oh, we got to cuss each other out. Like, I don't want that, you know? So definitely, you know, we use our past as a basis for our future or our present in order to guide, you know, how we want our lives to be, either, you know, be it the same or different. You know, Tan said my dad cussed his girlfriends clean out, just not his kids. So
I see. I'm what you said. I seen a lot of arguing growing up with relationships, not just between my mom and dad, but between my uncles and their wives or girlfriends and stuff like that. And I knew I did not want that. You feel me? I got one good argument in me. You feel me? We can have that one good argument, and then we're gonna. I'm like, listen, that's it. If we get to that level again, you're gonna be talking to yourself. Cause I'm gonna be out the door. I ain't. You feel me? Like I said, I give everybody grace. You know, that one huge argument, we might just snap at each other. We might be saying some hurtful things. Even then, it wears on me then for that one time. That's why I know I'm gonna be gone if it ever comes up the second time. Yeah. You understand? So like I'm like the sister said, I'm traumatized from that growing up. You know what I mean? I ain't scared to admit it. You know what I mean? I done seen domestic violence. I done seen all types of shit. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So when I tell you, like, nah, I'm out. Anybody who I ever dealt with, once I said, oh, I'm gone, they'll let you know, oh yeah, he was gone.
You're right. Yeah. Oh yeah, the domestic violence thing, man. That's one of those triggers for me too, because like I've seen, you know, not uncles, my aunts, you know, be hit by men. I've seen, you know, men be hit by women, and all that stuff is like, no, I'm that I don't want to see it. I don't want to be around it. Definitely don't want it in a relationship. I dealt with that with a person I was dating, and I was just like, look, no, you think it's okay to hit me? Like that's crazy to me, you know, and feeling like just because she was a woman or just because she felt like it wasn't that hard. I'm like, no, that's a pattern to me. You're already showing that you're going to be abusive in this situation, and I don't want that. So I got out of that lickety split because it was like, no, I'm not taking that. I'm not accepting that. I don't care. You know, it wasn't like a feather, but it was enough for me to notice. So if you want to get into that, no, that's not for me.
See, man, I stopped dealing with a girl because she used to like to bite during sex, and like, nah. I said I was gonna take one time for me to react.
I don't know, Smooth. I might have let that pass, but
I got bit in the back off guard one time. I was like, wait a minute, are we doing this? I didn't know this was just a thing that was happening.
Nah, bro, she bit me too hard, bro. She almost caught an elbow. Almost caught an elbow. Almost caught the people's elbow. Tell you.
But I grew up in a household where. So it's oddly enough. So in my household, I didn't grow up with arguing. We pretty much didn't really grow up with arguing. Mm-hmm. It was more of aftermath situations. So like we weren't home for the arguments. We came in the after of an argument and knew that the tension was there.
How it works.
We grew up around domestic violence, but we didn't physically see it.
Okay.
We saw the aftermath, and then they would try to explain it as something else. Right. So for me, I didn't grow up in the with like all the stuff. I think for me, it was more traumatizing for me to not see it and then see the aftermath, because it's like, well, I don't see y'all argue, so what the hell, like, you know. And it's oddly enough, I'm triggered by arguments. I don't like arguing. I don't. Especially not with somebody. More often than not, if I'm arguing with a man that I'm dealing with, I probably I probably shut down in the argument because I don't want to do that. Because I know how I am. I'm going to take it too far by the words that I can say. And I'm, depending on how he's choosing to argue and how aggressively he's seeking to argue, I'm probably going to do one or two things: shut down and not participate in the argument, or I'm going to go participate and it's not going to go good. So for me, it gives me PTSD. Depending on how that argument starts, I shut down immediately because I know I don't want to be an active participant in it. So for me, if I now that I know that that's a trigger for me, like going forward, and this is like recent. So now that I know that that's a trigger for me going forward, if I can't effectively communicate with you without me feeling like I can't speak my piece while I'm also hearing you out, I'm going to shut down, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to continue the situation because it's not healthy for me. Because if you can express how you feel about something and I can't do the same because it's a problem, we're not going to work. So for me, that's my like I've recently identified that that's a trigger for me. So going forward in any relationship, if I feel like I can't effectively communicate with you or properly communicate my wants and needs, I'm not about to deal with that. I've been traumatized by that alone.
Feel you. All right, last topic of the night. This was one that's been in the news recently. And I know it's come up in the past before, but it took a new turn recently. So there was a lady that was on a plane, had tried to sit down in her seat and found that she couldn't fit, and she had a hard time, sitting in the chair, and it even caused a stir with the other passengers around her and everything. So it sparked a recent new movement in order to push for airlines to provide an additional seat for overweight passengers in order to allow them to be comfortable, and as well as, I guess, for the comfort of others around them. Do you support a movement like that, where if a person is overweight and they feel that they won't be able to fit in an airline seat, do you think that they should be provided with a free seat so that they can be more comfortable on the plane?
So that's like a catch-22 because you want them to be comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know from my some knowledge, not really enough, but I know that they're able to buy 2 seats if they know that it's not comfortable. But I think some depend on the airline and how the seats are.
I don't think they on people being fat. When they made the planes, I don't think they equated that. But now, because of the obesity problem in USA, they may want to reconsider some double wide seats. But initially when they made planes, I don't think they made them for thinking that we was going to have obese people on a plane. So in that is something that they can advocate for. But I'd rather advocate for better health so you can fit in the seat.
No doubt.
Or maybe if you have to buy 2 tickets, one is at a discounted rate.
Like the seat ain't big enough. That's what you're saying, right? The seat to be wider for the bigger people.
Yeah.
So that's what they're saying. Like you could buy 2 seats, but if you got that arm piece in the middle, you still, you still squalls.
Yeah.
So if we talking about getting bigger seats engineered for wider people, so that's something that the aircraft.
They got bigger seats in first class.
Yeah, that money. They got first big seats first.
No, because I walk past it going to coach, minding my business because I can't afford first class.
The first class ticket, then, huh? Oh,
right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Catch-22. That's something that is sort of unfortunate because who saw that coming in life, that we'll be at a place where the seats are small. It's all about money, so they're gonna try to cram everybody in as much as they can. Anyway, so like you said, that's something that really is almost like a mundane thing because if we're concentrating on having bigger seats, that means that they're going to be losing money, and that's not what they're going to do. They're not going to care to lose money for people.
They're not going to build bigger planes. They're not going to have less people on it.
They don't care about that. They don't care about that.
Well, wouldn't they have I'm sorry, but wouldn't they have but they have the handicap seats?
I was about
wheelchairs and stuff like that.
I mean, like when you put your wheelchair on there, the person sits in the wheelchair it may go under or may go with luggage. Like a lot of people go to the airplane, you know, they have like a person actually, it's a plane. At the airport, they have their personal wheelchair, they'll wheelchair the people that can't walk, and their personal wheelchair will go in the plane. And as they come out, they have, you know, wheelchairs for the airport.
Yeah, they have a
Until you get, you know, till you get your stuff. So they have stuff for people with handicaps, but we would like to see them make bigger seats. But that's something that, you know, the people that is bigger, maybe they need to start a petition. You know, start a petition and start getting those things in motion for that classification of people, and start petitioning in these places and telling them like, hey, we spend our money too. Can you guys start it? You know, it starts with us because we spend our money. So if you want to see change, you got to put your foot on their neck and start making those petitions and start seeing why, you know. But if not, then they're not going to change. It's all about the perspective on how you take on this you know, this issue with, you know, having bigger seats for comfortability for bigger people.
I don't care. I'm gonna be quiet.
Here's my patience again. Nope.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like the sister said, we all paying for tickets. You feel me? We all paying for tickets, and you know, I want to be comfortable. You feel me? If I'm gonna go on a plane, so either you build a section for the wide backs, or you know what I mean, something else got to get. Or if they do buy, I'm not opposed to buying 2 seats. You know what I mean? Or even somebody want to buy them a row, cool. You know what I mean? But just like everything else, when you go to an amusement park, certain rides got weight limits. You feel me? You try to get on the elevators, too many people, and somebody big ass try to get on there. Hold on now. You're gonna have to wait for the next one. You feel me? Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's other ways they can accommodate, you know, but I'm thinking if we're talking about that big, you feel me? We got to be talking about somebody that's morbidly obese. You know what I mean? So at that point, and then you got to pick what airline. If you flying Spirit, like, look, man, you're gonna get what you're gonna get, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't be expecting.
I'm scared.
Yeah, don't be expecting no first class treatment. You feel me? And you buying bottom of the line tickets. You feel me? So, you know, it goes both ways. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, I'm definitely not supporting that movement. Like, I ain't support. Like sister said, like, I'd rather you go work out. You know what I mean? Go walk. Go do something. Lose a couple pounds. You feel me? Because if you that big to where you gotta buy 2 seats, something ain't right, bro. Something ain't right.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, I've been in that situation where getting into a plane seat was a struggle because like Angel was saying, you know, they make these planes now where they want to fit as many people as they can on, you know, on that plane. They make the seats as small as they can to keep the weight down, which increases their ability, or they increases the fuel capability. So that way they save on fuel. There's a lot of factors that go into that, right? Now, what Spirit has done, and I believe Delta as well, is that they've made the chairs, even though the chair size is the same, they've reduced the size of the component so that a bigger person can fit into it. Not a lot bigger, but, you know, a little bit bigger, as well as give people a little bit more room in the chair, even though the chair is still technically the same size as their previous chairs. But in terms of accommodating a person who's unable to sit in that single seat, definitely, you know, like Sonny said earlier, it's a catch-22 because, you know, if a person can go in there and say, hey, I'm a certain size, I need a free seat, you know, a free adjacent seat, anybody can do that then at that point, right? You know, now they're giving away free seats. Who do you think is going to pay for that? Now that cost is going to end up being put back on the rest of the population, or people are going to be trying to take advantage of it, right? Like, oh yeah, you're going to have a person that's 110 pounds talking about I need 2 seats because I'm overweight. Like, wait, what?
Like the support animals. The support animals.
The support, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, So you got people who are going to take advantage of the system,
Or they
you're
want to
gonna
see for
have
their baby.
the system itself have to, make adjustments and pass that cost on to the rest of us. So, bottom line, I definitely think it has to defer to one, buy your 2 seats, pay that money. It's not the airline's fault about your size. We do live in a country that has a high obesity rate. So the fact that they are making, plane seats so small is problematic, but it's also not not in their business to accommodate that. They're looking at what they consider the average size and making those seats accommodate the average size or smaller. Even when it comes to seat distance, I definitely have a problem with that because I'm 6'4", right? We're not a huge part of the population, but being a tall person sitting in those seats, my knees pressed up against the back of somebody's seats, or me having to sit in an aisle seat so I can stick my leg out, that's something I have to deal with. Or like Sonny was saying, I got to buy that first class ticket, or I got to get that exit row, so some people got to pay what they weigh, some people got to pay for their height, so I think that it's something that I don't think that we can really put on the industry itself, or put upon them, because some of these things can be avoided, but then some of these things can be accommodated, but you got to pay for it. You got to pay for that second seat, you got to pay for that larger row, whatever the case may be. So unfortunately, we're in a capitalist society, and it's all about
They don't
money.
care. They
And
worry about money.
who wants to
Period.
have to pay for somebody else's situation? That's the problem.
And then like these, like this will piss me off because these, like, first of all, these are first world problems. Like these is the like this shit is so unnecessary. You feel me? This is so unnecessary. Like, and then like you said, it's not up to these businesses to accommodate every single body. You feel me? At some point, because at some point it's going to be counterproductive. You feel me? Like we're at a stage in this country to where we all just lazy. Like we're all just lazy. Everybody want to take the easy way out. You feel me? Free seats. Like, come on, man. I ain't giving you no free seats because your ass don't know when to stop eating. Now, if you got a medical condition or something like that, you feel me? I understand. You feel me? That's one thing. As far as your weight go. If you got a medical condition and you can't, but to the rest of us, like me, you feel me? Whenever I gain weight, you know who's the problem? Me. I'm the reason why I'm gaining weight. You feel me? So everybody should have to bend and accommodate because I don't know how to control my appetite or control my health. You know what I mean? So to expect, you feel me? Because it's kind of like I'm gonna feel some type of way. I pay for these tickets, and then this man or woman or child who overweight come on, and now they get to get an extra free seat just because they overweight.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who's that pushing out of line? Because somebody,
because now somebody else can't get on the plane. Yep.
And somebody else can't get on the plane. You feel me? You get this person a free seat, man. I'm on this plane. I could have brought my daughter for that case. You feel me? She extra weight. Like what we talking about?
Sit on my lap.
Like this is my support person. Let me bring it.
Exactly.
That's why I said like I'm not necessarily with the free. I'm saying if you know that you are pleasantly plump is what I will say. Because according to textbook laws, I'm morbidly obese because of my height and my weight. But whatever. Any rate, I feel like maybe a discounted rate if you're buying 2 because of your size, that would make sense. So like how you do the plane ticket and then do you need the extras? Like I don't know how they can ask it, but if you need 2 extra seats and then you're not bringing another person, so say it's 1 person and 2 seats. Like you can go and do the request for 1 person and 2 seats. Then they know that maybe you might need a discount because you need a little the extra seat.
Right.
So that may give you, I would say, give them a discounted for that second seat, possibly, if anything, or make the seats where if it is like say if they do buy 2 seats, make it where it could be comfortably adjusted. So that stupid handrest that we have and you have to put down. Maybe that could be moved out the way because somebody plus size in next to it, they could actually have 2 seats if they're paying for both.
I wouldn't mind.
Right. Have it like go back to where it disappeared.
Yeah, like how the wheelchair thing you do on the bus. You know,
I gotta pay for 2 seats. I do want to be a little more comfortable than what that would accommodate.
That part. So that's what I'm saying. Like that will make more sense to me. I probably get on board with that. But as far as the free seat, hell no, because sometimes them flights be 200 plus. Right. Listen, I'm gonna be.
Let me ask y'all a question though. Here's my question: how do you determine? Like, what is the determination if somebody is too big? Like, what is there a certain weight? Is there a certain?
It would have to be a certain size, a certain
width, I think, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
because I mean, I'm 315 pounds, right? Now,
but like you said, you're 6'4".
For me, I can sit in a regular passenger seat just fine. Now, when I was 350, almost 400 pounds, it was struggle. But when it comes to somebody else, if even you, Smooth, if you were 315 pounds, you probably wouldn't be able to fit in the seat comfortably, you know. And you're only a couple of inches shorter than me, right? So it definitely depends not on your weight per se, but more about your actual size.
Mass.
Right?
Okay.
You know, yeah, it definitely depends on your size. But even with certain seats, because now I was just recently on a plane, right? I got in a exit row. The exit row seat, because of the way it's made, and this I don't know if this is on all their planes, but this is on a Spirit plane that had the full, it was like not the regular armrest that goes up and down. It's like a full, like, I don't know what to call it, like half wall or something.
Right.
Yeah. Like that was way smaller than their regular seats. Their regular seats, there was more space. So, you know, even in that situation, like, okay, if I buy a exit row or whatever rows that have that kind of thing, that's going to affect it differently too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some larger people, but then Tan made a good point here, is that what if that obese person doesn't choose to buy the seat, but it's making their neighbor uncomfortable? Because, you know, some people, they'll sit down. Actually, that just happened to my son. We got on a bus and he was sitting on a seat that had another seat that was like a little higher. And this guy goes to sit down. This guy had to been about 1.5 times my size wide. He sat down. His half his leg was sitting on my son.
I had that happen to me. Somebody,
and I'm like, bro, like, what's going on? But, you know, he like, you know, this is the only seat he could take, right? You know, and the same thing happens on a plane. Somebody, you know, that maybe, you know, extra wide, they sit down. Now they taking up half the next seat, and they didn't buy that seat. Somebody else got to sit there and be uncomfortable because that person, half their body is on them, you know. And, you know, so that's something that's, you know, the question there, because I know that there was actually just a big viral situation that happened where I guess the lady got on, sat next to some people, and the guy got upset. He, you know, called the flight attendant to help him, and he's like, you know, she's crowding my seat. So they moved him, and then I guess he went to another seat and called her all kinds of N-words and stuff, and fat bees and all this kind of stuff. And somebody caught him on video texting his friend. But basically, you know, he got upset because he's like, look, she didn't even buy, you know, the extra seat. She decided to sit in that seat and make it work. But now he's uncomfortable, you know, and that, I know that happens a lot, you know. I definitely have been on planes, or not been on, but been in rows and seen it for myself. Like, people are literally like way bigger than the seat that they chose, and now they're halfway sitting on the next person next to them.
Maybe the airlines need a weight check-in, so they know where actually to permit to where they could sit at. You know, if they do more of a weight check-in and add that as a feature when you actually booking your tickets, they could pretty much, like, if you weigh this much, you have to take an aisle seat or the in seat, or you have to, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, maybe they need to just add that as an extra step when they checking in, so that way they'll know that they're expecting a bigger person.
I 100% back that. I 100% back that. Like, and if you lie, you get
lost. You're getting off that plane.
That's like off that plane. Like the ride, you ain't gonna be able to ride if you lie.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I want 1000% behind that idea, and then also, you know, like that situation with your son on the bus. You know, that happened to me before. You know, or it don't even gotta be somebody fat. But I got on the bus, boy. Let me tell you, man. Dude smelled like 1,000 shits, bro. Like, so. You know, but this is the risk you take when you taking public transportation.
Yeah.
You feel me? You got to understand that comes with it. So even, you know, when you hopping on a plane, sometimes you have to understand the risk you take. You know, it might be some body on that plane sitting next to you, unless it's all unless you're going with people and y'all sitting together, you may be sitting next to somebody you don't want to sit next to, and you have to deal with it. If you can't deal with it, then man, listen, you got to find other means of transportation. You feel me? Everybody can't keep making all these. You feel me? That free. Once I seen that word free, I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing nothing free over here.
Everybody want to be accommodated.
Yeah, I had a lady sit on my lap and get mad because I looked at her like, why is your whole thigh is on top of my thigh? And you looking at me, look at you, and you mad because I'm looking at you. Excuse me, ma'am, you sitting up like this. She's on me. Like, how dare you be? And I was looking at her like, and at first I just looked at her. You know how you look at somebody like,
right.
Like, come on.
Like, can you do something with that?
Like, you're not even that big. Like, why is you doing that? And then she like got mad. So I said, you got your whole thigh on my thigh, lady. Like, how you gonna be mad?
Right. Yeah, but unfortunately, people are gonna be people, right? And they're gonna be looking at you like, I can't do nothing about this, or you know, you fat shaming me, or whatever the case may be.
Stood up and held on to that.
It's always gonna be a fight. It's always gonna be a fight. Yeah. I don't know if Smooth was trying to say something. I think we caught him mid sentence. But great show tonight. Thank you all again for joining us. We're going to go ahead and wrap this show up. Make sure you guys get with us. You know, we have plenty of shows out here to keep you guys entertained. You can always catch us here Mondays at 10 p.m. On the GFT radio show, where we have all the crew here. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. you can catch the How to Hustle podcast with Hank. Tomorrow's show, he's going to be talking about Juneteenth and the Juneteenth explosion event that's happening in Philly. So make sure you guys check that out. Styles and Chevy recap. We will be back very soon. Marvel's Secret Invasion's coming out June 21st. So we will be recapping that show. So make sure you join us on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on the weeks following each new episode. Sex with Sunny will be live 2 Fridays each month. So make sure you guys check those shows out. Actually, you just dropped the show, right, Sunny, a couple weeks ago?
A couple weeks ago, but I think I might be dropping the show this week.
Okay. All right. We're looking forward to that. So make sure y'all guys hit that like, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well, so that you can be notified when the show is dropping. And then Smooth and Dame are working on bringing the fans' perspective back very soon. So make sure you check that out when it's back. It's going to be every other Sunday at 9 p.m. So make sure y'all do that. In the meantime, you know where to find us. But we're going to let our guests speak first. Angel, you want to let the folks know where they can find you?
I don't have no platform, you know, to where I speak or anything. I just wanted to get in here and just share some insight. But I do own a boutique. Y'all can find me at Detroit Fashion District on Facebook. I don't talk, you know, I sell clothes, so that's a little different. But I do have.
Definitely promote. That's what we got here for. Definitely promote, put it out there.
So I'm local here in Detroit. So, you know, for some women's fashion, I sell that and accessories. And like I said, you can follow my Facebook page, Detroit Fashion District, for that note. And I would just like to thank you both for allowing me to come on your platform.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for joining us. And we're looking forward to have you on again very soon. So make sure you be ready for that. We saw Smooth. Sorry about that, bro. We'll hopefully get you back on here in a second, or we'll catch you next week when we.
So hold on, is your book already out, or is it?
I'm actually working on my ebooks. I want it to be a series so it don't be so complicated. A lot of us don't read, you know what I'm saying? So when we see everything, we see them big books, our brain will sort of just start going into a panic. So it's like me telling the people how I was able to overcome. So that way when they read the book, it breaks down the subconscious mind in a story of how I found out about the subconscious mind, how we were programmed, and how we can start relearning who we really are, because we're the gods of this planet, to be honest.
Yes, ma'am. Indeed.
So, you know, those are the things that when we stand in our power, we need to understand. That's why, like you said, our people are in chaos. So it's our job for the ones that's awoken to sort of like reel them in and let them see the error. Like, you know, this is not how gods act. Just to keep them reminding that they are gods and we are.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Sonny, you want to let the folks know where they can find you?
You guys can find me at IamSunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. Catch me on my blog on reservedlyme.com.
All right. Smooth. Uh-oh.
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Smooth.
Go ahead.
You
We
hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. This is boy Smooth. Y'all already know. Y'all can catch me all the damn time on Twitter at eTrentonGroomy. On IG at Mr. Wilson 11_11. Shout out to Angel. That's I need to put her information in the group chat and stuff so I can check her stuff out, read her book. I like that type of time.
Okay,
so salute to you.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Haim couldn't make it in today. Shout out to Haim. Like I said, tomorrow's show he's going to be talking about Juneteenth and the Juneteenth explosion in Philly. Make sure y'all get at Haim at I Am Haim on IG and Twitter. The How to Hustle podcast with Haim is on Tuesday at 2 p.m. here on YouTube. And also check out Custom Hustle World and H2H Cleaners. Dame was on earlier. We lost him as well. Looks like he had some technical difficulties. You can catch him over at Another Level Up on IG, Shinlo21 on Twitch, Checkmate21 on TikTok, and Shinlo21 on Xbox. So make sure y'all get with him. And it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. You can find me over at stylesradio.com, listening to all the hot tracks. Just listen to my girl Cash Doll, her new mixtape with DJ Drama. So make sure y'all check that out. Got all the tracks over there, as well as some new Babyface Ray straight from the D. So make sure y'all go check that out as well. I think some new Sada Baby too. So make sure y'all check out all that good Detroit music over there over at stylesradio.com. Make sure you hit me up at williestyles.info for all my links. Appreciate y'all for joining us. Angel, stay on for a second, please. And until next time, we will see y'all.
Yo, it's your boy Dame here.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
Yo, it's your boy Smooth from the GFT Radio Network.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Join us Mondays at 10 p.m. live on Twitch, YouTube, and our Facebook. And if you miss us, don't worry. You can catch it on our website, gftradioshow.com. And if you feel like talking to us every day, join our Facebook group.
At Join the Conversation, the group where you can discuss all kinds of topics.
Catch me also, Fans Perspective, Dope Sports Show. Holla at your boy.
You can cop some merchandise over at our store, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and even more.
Next time on GFT Radio, what are we talking about? Join the conversation to find out.
Make sure you get at us on GFTradioshow.com for all of our audio and video playback.